Subscriptions. You have them, I have them. But what used to be relegated to newspapers, magazines, milk and water delivery, subscriptions have infiltrated every single part of our lives. Most particularly the media we consume. But what once was a cheaper, easier, and more convenient way to get some of the best TV shows and movies available now is spread out amongst a million apps, is super expensive, and full of stuff that I guess somebody would want to watch. Did we as a people take a slow-acting poison pill that gutted our society, our culture, and our economy? And what can we do now? Is it too late? And are there any competitive or alternative measures that we can do? Well, let's find out. Hello and welcome to Nerddom. My name is Matt. Thank you so much for joining me today. Now, something hit me in the last couple weeks that is probably hitting every single one of you, and that is subscription prices, and are they even worth it? Yes, we've come a long way since the years of 07, 08, 09, or around there, where you could stream a movie from Netflix onto your Xbox, jump into an Xbox Live party, and everyone watches them in the same movie theater. That was a fun experience. At the time, this was revolutionary. It was a new way to consume media. No longer do you need to go to a Blockbuster store to rent a movie. No longer do you need to go to the Best Buy to grab a full season of The Office. It's available on Netflix. And exactly what once was a convenient way of watching some of your favorite TV shows is now spread out amongst 1.5 million different apps. Want to watch The Office? No longer is it on Netflix. Now you have to subscribe to Peacock. Want to watch South Park? Well, no longer is it on Hulu. Maybe it is, I'm not sure. You now have to subscribe to Paramount Plus. When you're in a conversation with someone at work and they say, hey, did you see this movie or show? And you ask, no, where is it? And they say Apple Plus. You go, what the hell is Apple Plus? And why does Apple have its own streaming service? Each one of these is at least $10 probably to watch. I mean, $7.99 with ads, $10 you can basically say. And if you were to subscribe to every single one of them, you may as well be paying for cable once again. And while it is nice that you can actually piece out which subscription service you would like, it is getting a little bit out of hand. So I thought it would be a fun exercise to go through my subscriptions, see what I can delete, cancel, or find an alternative. I have subscription services for the media that I consume, for the applications that I use for creative projects, and for video gaming, which we'll get into. Some services that I have already canceled throughout the year has been Netflix, which I was paying, I think, top tier for, like $30 a month, which my brother was using too for like the last 10 years for free. I already canceled that. At one point, I did have a Hulu membership, but I canceled that. Their originals didn't really grab me. And the only thing that would really get me on that platform now is probably some of the FX features that they have. I thought about Alien, but also Shogun recently was a good show that was on there. HBO, this is the one that I can see myself subscribing to at least for a little bit, mostly because of Penguin and House of the Dragon. At one time, the Game of Thrones phenomenon, you had to have HBO Go, or Plus, or Go, or Plus Now Go. I don't know what it's called anymore. If you don't want to pay for the cable bill, which at one point, wasn't that just an amazing thing? All of us at 6 p.m. Eastern time watching the same show together. It just seems like a completely different world that we lived in back then. Now it's like a lot different. With all of these special releases to streaming, if not weeks after they're in the theaters, it has kind of taken the culture out of these new releases and deflated the balloon of them. Like, no one cares to go run out to the theater and see the next Marvel joint. A, because they haven't been good, and B, because they know that it's going to be on streaming in a month or two. So why, if we're already paying for Disney Plus, why would we go to a theater and pay $30 a ticket just to see the same movie that we can watch on our 65-inch at home? And I know that cinema is cinema, and for cinema's sake, you should go see it at a theater. I love the theater experience. I love sitting in a dark room with a bunch of strangers and having a shared experience together. You're all seeing the same thing at the same time, most likely, if you're there on opening day, for the first time. So that experience is so much fun, but really, in the economy that we're in as well, you got choices. Now, Disney Plus, you're on the chopping block. There is no reason why I should be paying for a Disney Plus subscription. There isn't. I don't watch anything on there. The only thing I watch are certain Marvel things, and I think Wonder Man's the only thing that's coming out this year. So, bye-bye Disney Plus. Like I said, HBO, I can see myself subscribing to later on with House of the Dragon, but with how slow these seasons occur, it takes like 3 years to come back. What the hell is the point of having a TV show if it takes that long? It's basically like TV shows have now become movies in the length of production and budget and everything else that they consume and the amount of time that they take to get made. Oh my God, Apple Plus, there was a couple shows on there that people said you need to watch. The only one that I'm really interested in is kind of like a spiritual successor to Band of Brothers, which I have the box set of, by the way. And you can watch on HBO. Same with the Pacific. It's a World War II, talking about the airmen of World War II. I can totally see myself watching that. Other than that, I don't know of anything else, and I don't know. There's nothing really there. Oh God, Paramount, the Yellowstone universe, and all those shows. Those shows seem to be what's keeping Paramount afloat, man. The Halo show was a garbage pit, but all these Taylor Sheridan shows, I think Landman's on there. I think, what is it? Tulsa King is on there with Stallone. So some big names in these shows. And Taylor Sheridan's got his own ranch out in, what, Montana or something? Or Nevada? God, I don't remember. But he just rakes in the cash by keeping Paramount Plus afloat. I guess Paramount also has Star Trek. No one? No one? No one watching Strange New Worlds? That's sad. That's sad. I really wish the best for Star Trek, dude. I have such an affinity for it, and it has such a treasured past. And to see what's happening to it, it's just reminds me a lot of Doctor Who. Which, by the way, no reason to subscribe to Disney Plus to watch that either. Yay. Anything past Capaldi is pretty much bad. Peacock, I don't know what it has. I guess it has that Office spinoff. Okay. The commercials did not look funny to me. Not at all. So it's not going to get me to subscribe. I don't care if it's only $8. I don't care. I'd rather buy caffeine. There's probably a couple more that I'm missing. Let me know down in the comments below what subscriptions with video you're watching. But I have a few alternatives. First off, I know YouTube. YouTube is the one that I can see myself keeping. I spend most of my time watching creators that are just like you, normal people, making videos, stuff like mini documentaries, man. They are freaking awesome. And I can see myself paying, I think it's like $15, $16 a month for that premium. And we'll get into it, but it also comes with a bunch of benefits. YouTube for sure I would keep, but what if you want some alternatives that are free? Well, I seem to find a lot of fun with Tubi. I love Tubi. To be or not to be. There is some really, really fun and interesting stuff on that platform, and all it takes is a couple of ads. To me, that's no problem. It's a free service. I can watch a couple of ads and then basically hang out for a couple minutes, go to the bathroom, get a drink. It's no problem at all. I mean, watch the ads. Tubi advertisers, of course, we watch the ads. I can also see myself keeping Amazon. Now, Prime gives me benefits because of all the shipping stuff. So all the entertainment that comes along with Prime to me is just an additional. I do have to watch ads though, which again sucks that I'm paying for something, but I take the Prime membership with all the stuff that we get shipped to the house for just basic goods. I take that and I'm like, okay, then ads are all right. Ads are fine with me there. Now, of course, some of you guys are gonna have some top of the line killer absolutely killer home theaters that you can tell the difference between a Netflix stream of one show and like a Crunchyroll of the same show and tell the difference. Which Crunchyroll, bye-bye. I'm sorry. I can't keep up with all these animes and stuff that nothing really happens for a couple episodes and I end up falling asleep. No offense, I'm sure everybody loves them, but hey, I just can't. I don't need to pay that money a month, so bye Crunchyroll. But what are some alternatives that you don't need internet access for? Oh, look at this. My DVD box set of The Office Season 5, which it came with the actual script for, this is actually the Dinner Party. So Dinner Party Season 4. So I have almost every single season of The Office. The Office was a really, really big part of my growing up. And these box sets are freaking awesome. If you're able to find them, physical media is going to be a big conversation of this video. Where to get physical media, what are the offerings. There is some on Amazon, but otherwise you may have to find them from individual sellers. I love the box set. I especially love the bonus features. That is one thing that is just gone. The way of the dodo bird is bonus features. I used to listen to the commentary, watch the behind the scenes, the deleted scenes, bunch of stuff like that, and it's no longer available. It's like different versions of the same movie on the same disc. That doesn't exist anymore. DVDs and Blu-rays offered these extras for the fans and also a fun packaging that you could keep for the rest of your life. Physical media, I do see having and making a comeback, which we'll be getting into for sure. Speaking of physical media dealers, horror is a big, big treasure trove for physical media. And there's actually a couple of distributors who are creating special box sets for these movies. One of which is Second Sight Films, which is a UK distributor. They have some amazing classic films on there. I think RoboCop and stuff like that was on there with a very special box set. Also, Terror Vision Records and Video is another physical media company where they're coming out with box sets, special discs, special records, vinyls, things like that. So there are companies who are going to be catering to this new wave of physical media, and hopefully, it will be glorious. Now, just to explain some of the prices that we've been paying for the last 20 some odd years, Netflix started as a standard with at $7.99 a month with streaming included. So I believe that came with discs as well as streaming. As of right now, standard with ads is $7.99, standard with no ads is $17.99, and premium is $24.99. So Netflix has raised its prices basically every single year since 2014. You're not going crazy. They've been going up. Disney Plus launched in 2019 at $6.99 a month. Now, as of 2025, it is ad-free at $13.99 a month, which I'm paying, and with ads is $7.99 a month. They've raised their prices 4 times since launch, often $2 to $3 per hike. Hulu had an ad-supported tier launching at $5.99, which is now $7.99. An ad-free tier climbed from $11.99 to now $17.99. Apple Plus launched in 2019 as well at $4.99 a month, and it is now $9.99 a month. Peacock launched in 2020 as well. We were all locked in our homes and they thought this was a great idea. At $4.99 a month with ads, and now it is $7.99 a month with ads. So you can see how a lot of this adds up. The streaming subscription fatigue is real. Average households are paying upwards of 4 subscriptions per house, often totaling upwards of $50 to $80 a month. What began as just a cheaper option for catching some of your favorite movies and shows whenever you want is now almost an obligation. And it's almost like they're giving you an illusion of choice. It's like, oh, you can get this here, get this there. You can really piece it out if you want to. But if you really had the time and you wanted to watch all this stuff, you're going to be paying so much money a month just to get all of it. Now, the next one kind of leads more into the creatives out there. I myself have been a Adobe subscription Creative Cloud user basically since the inception of Creative Cloud. Now, with this package comes Illustrator, Photoshop, Premiere, After Effects, and all of their entire things, basically everything. And that's now $55, $60 a month. And they also have a package which was a part of a class action lawsuit that is $29.99 a month. And it basically gave you a subscription service where you can download stock photos and you can download graphic templates, things like that. But they didn't explain that you couldn't opt out monthly. They made it look like it was a month-to-month reoccurring price, but it's a yearly subscription. And if you wanted to back out of it, it would actually cost you the rest of the year to back out of it, which is crazy. Luckily, that class action lawsuit came out, and I was actually using that because I liked downloading a bunch of graphic templates that I could just use. But man, it's getting too much. So with that, I am looking for alternatives. I've seen a couple, I've done a lot of research. To replace Premiere, I've downloaded DaVinci Resolve, which has a free version, but it also has a $250 version, which has all of the nuts and bolts that you need for an editing software. So I'm very interested in that because learning it for free, so you may see a difference in videos coming up because I don't know how to use this program. Photoshop, I've heard of a couple of different alternatives. One is called GIMP, which I guess just came out. There's also lower subscription models that you can do. So there's Canva. If you want to do social media stuff, I think Canva is a big one. And there's also Figma, which is really for UX UI, but you can use it for PDF generation if you wanted to do that. For Illustrator, which I love, which I can make vector graphics, I'm open to your suggestions, but I was thinking about using Affinity. I believe it's $70 and it gives me all the stuff that I need usually inside of an Illustrator for vector files. Same with Photoshop, by the way. Affinity does have Affinity Photo. So I'm curious about using both of them, and that costs about $180 and I keep it forever. And these alternatives have really hit Adobe hard, with Adobe stock prices, I do believe, dropping a crap load in the last couple years. And also like the quality of stuff that they've invested in, so like the AI generative stuff, it really hasn't taken off with users, and more so they're mad at the quality of a product that we're actually getting from Premiere and Illustrator and Photoshop, that kind of thing. But I have used generative art to like fill in some spaces, and it does work relatively well for the most part. So again, if my thumbnails change the next couple of months, you'll know why. It's because I stopped paying for Adobe, which is going to save me near $100 a month. And I know that they have a couple of different subscriptions that are piecemealed app by app, but I'm almost not even interested. Like if I can't make some stuff, I don't know. I'm almost not even interested. I want to try some different alternatives out there. And lastly, the big one for us over here in this household is gaming. I am an Xbox Game Pass Premium Ultimate member, whatever the hell it's called. Ultimate, I think it is, top tier on the PC. And I have been for a very long time. I was such a big shill for Game Pass. I love the offerings that you get, and for $20 a month, it really was a good price for me to keep it. Even if I did just hop into a couple of EA Play games like Battlefield 2042 or more recently, or if I wanted to give South of Midnight a try, which I did, and I actually liked. I know, attack me in the comments. Oh, you like South of Midnight, oh my god. And then getting to play their day one games is such a huge value add. I would have never, actually, I would have been mad if I paid $70 for Avowed. I would have. It's either that, I'm curious, if I paid $70 for Avowed, would I actually play it through? Would I actually put time into a game? Would the value of that game really force me to sit down and play it because of how much money I've spent on it? Same with Doom. I haven't finished Doom from this year either. It's kind of crazy to think that it's maybe if I bought the game, maybe I would actually play it. But as it is right now, I have some games on Game Pass that I have not completed as of yet. It's either attention or it's not a thing for me. I didn't really need to play them. Man, this hurts so much, but they are going up $10 more for Game Pass Ultimate, which is now going to be $29.99 a month. $30. This is making me look at gaming in a completely different way. Recently, I've been playing a free-to-play game called, what are you called? Arena Breakout Infinite, which, by the way, is basically a Chinese copy and paste of Escape from Tarkov. which if you've been with the channel for a long time, you would know that I was actually addicted to for a long time. And this game is actually a lot easier to play. It's easier to get into and learn the maps and get weapons that are badass pretty quickly. So it does have that ease of use that Tarkov doesn't have. But I've already spent $120 on Tarkov, and now this is free with like bundles and stuff. And I've already played this for like 10 hours or something. And there's a bunch of other free-to-play games that are absolutely killer. Mecha Break, Marvel Rivals, a Delta Force, which is kind of dead right now, but it is basically a copy and paste of Battlefield 2042. They tried to do an extraction shooter, but I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. So there are free-to-play options. I know a lot of other games that are free-to-play and that people are really enjoying. There are free-to-play options, but there's also to-buy options. Now, I have a problem with buying the digital versions of games that you then don't own the actual copy to. I think I'm really afraid of Steam one day doing kind of what Ubisoft did, as in you bought it digitally. Okay, we don't give a shit. Now you can't play the game that you paid for full price all those years ago because we don't want you to. I've had that happen. Nerd Dame has had that happen as well. She bought copies of Assassin's Creed and now she cannot play them. She bought them digitally. Ubisoft says you can't play them anymore. They took it away from her. Absolutely insane that you can do that. So with all these digital purchases, even on Prime, even on anywhere, if the deals change, your purchases and stuff are gone. Which again leads me to, what are we gonna do? Is there anywhere else to go? Oh, physical media. I see a future where I only play retro games and the PC games that are available, basically. It's possible that I will buy a couple of brand new games. I'm not going to say never. Next week is Battlefield 6, and I am stoked for it. But then a couple weeks afterwards is Arc Raiders, which is an extraction third-person shooter, and I'm excited for that too. So I see myself blending a couple of brand new games that I would want to play, and then playing the retro games, which I do see if this becomes a popular option. The thing is, the prices on these things is going to go up. With the demand, sellers are going to see an opportunity to make boatloads of cashish, and they're going to start charging a lot of money for these physical copies because they're not being made anymore. Maybe they are by special people, but they're not being made anymore from the original distributor. So I get kind of scared by saying let's play retro, because if I spew it out into the universe, it's possible out of my own selfishness that the pricing is going to go up. But in the end, I get to keep these. I get to keep these forever. I get to play them whenever I want. There's no DRM on these things. And all it takes is a working console and a working game, and I can play it whenever I want. I can pass it down to whoever I want. And I think that is absolutely beautiful. So there's a couple of websites like Whatnot, Encore, eBay that you can get physical copies from on a fairly cheap basis and have them shipped to you. And you can really relive the old days that maybe you miss. Maybe you missed some titles from those days as well. Maybe, you know, something else happened and you never got to play it, or maybe you never got to finish those games when you were a kid. So now is the time. You can find these games, they're available. Find them and you can play them. So yeah, I see myself kind of purchasing games, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 a year, stopping a subscription service, and then buying some retro games, man, and really enjoying those, and getting a whole retro setup on the big monitor and stuff like that. The last subscription I forgot to talk about was Spotify. Included in YouTube Premium is actually YouTube Music. So I'm thinking about dropping Spotify and going straight to YouTube Music. They also have a free, or it's included in YouTube Premium, where it can actually bring over all of your liked songs in Spotify into YouTube Music. Pretty cool. So yeah, where you go, I'm not sure. I just know that the subscription fatigue is real and I feel it. And not only because the subscription services themselves are expensive, but because the whole world's getting expensive. And with entertainment, there's only so much we can do, I suppose. But I do want to say another suggestion for physical media. I'm a big fan of weekly comic books, the floppies. But again, it's a matter of space, and I see myself running out of space very, very soon. So with that, I see myself in the very near future stopping purchasing all these comics weekly and just going to novels. Just going to literature, going to graphic novels that I own already and reading those. A lot are in my backlog already. So definitely pick up some physical books. They can last you basically a whole day, if not maybe a month, and sit down and start reading. I see that in the future being important, you know? You can get books for fairly cheap. And again, just like the games, you have this puppy forever. You can pass it down to the next generation, to the next generation. So that's my next offering is literature, books. Go buy some books. Go find some series that you enjoy. You can even go to garage sales and stuff like that. Auctions. See if people are selling some books and stuff. You know, James Patterson has like 60 million books out there. Dude's a billionaire probably. I don't even know if he's alive. But yeah, long-winded, but what are you guys feeling out there with the subscription fatigue? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you liked the video, feel free to subscribe. Also, feel free to smash the like button. Really does help out the channel get pushed out to new people. I hope you're doing well, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.